Is it too late to change? Too late to believe? 60% of wildlife has vanished in just 40 years. Less than a century ago, Guadeloupe's last remaining manatee died. Manman-dlo in Creole. The time for action is now. In 2018, a conservation project in Guadeloupe came a whisper away from a world first, reintroducing a marine mammal to the wild, the manatee. The creature lent its name to one of Guadeloupe's biggest cities and has not been seen in Guadeloupe for nearly 100 years. In 2016, a national park and its scientists returned 2 manatees to Guadeloupe seas, catapulting the project onto the global stage. But without the support it needed, the project floundered and the team was disbanded. Yet the idea lives on. Guadeloupe as a haven for protecting and reintroducing this marine mammal is a dream, but a dream that can come true. The science says we have everything we need to make it happen, but stats and studies are nothing without hope. What if we could change that? What if we could muster up the strength to believe and do our bit? What if everyone around the world became Guadeloupean just for the time it takes to dream, to accomplish the impossible and lead the way for the rest of the world? What if for once humans returned life to the planet? We were all born from water, and to water we shall return. Manman-dlo.
My name is Natalia ROZNIEWSKA and I'm a wildlife veterinarian. In my career I used to work with giant pandas in China, with ocelots in Bolivia, and since a few years I'm focused on manatees project in the Caribbean. We are showing you today this short video to tell you about a very unique project. It's about manatees reintroduction in Guadeloupe, and it's actually the first of this kind in the world. Manatees disappeared from this part of the Caribbean 100 years ago because they were hunted. And today a very amazing opportunity is in front of us because the habitat where manatees used to live is still very well preserved. It's the seagrass beds, the mangrove forest, the coral reef barrier, which makes this place a heaven for manatees.
Can you explain us why doing reintroductions?
For me as a wildlife veterinarian, the reintroductions are an opportunity to bring health to the ecosystems and therefore to the planet. For example, when I receive a wounded dog, then I will clean the wounds, put the sutures, maybe give an antibiotics. But the healing process, it's actually the body that it's doing it itself. I'm only creating the perfect conditions for the healing to be faster. And for me, when we bring the wildlife, and especially the keystone species, back to the ecosystems, so that they can do the roles that is very specific to them. For example, manatees, they are indicator of healthy seagrass. They disperse seed, they increase the nutrient cycling. So by bringing manatees back to Guadeloupe, we can improve the health of the marine ecosystem and therefore let the nature heal itself and create the perfect conditions for it.
Can you speak about actions in capture and release?
At capture and release, and it actually means capture images, release species, we want to bring together science and arts in order to raise awareness about biodiversity loss, but also to inspire change and to raise a support for wildlife reintroductions all over the world.
Can you talk about Junior and what happened in Guadeloupe with the reintroduction manatee program?
The manatee project made a huge step forward when it finally moved 2 manatees from Singapore Zoo to Guadeloupe. It was also a great learning experience for all the team. First, we learned that we can have a successful journey and travel manatees on long distances. The other thing is that one of the manatees adapted very well to the climate and the conditions in Guadeloupe. The other, however, had a very acute kidney disease. And unfortunately, despite the efforts of our veterinary team, this individual died. Since that time, we conducted a veterinary study on captive population, and we learned that over half of captive manatees is suffering from different stages of kidney disease. And because we could improve the nutritional protocol, we were also to save the lives of these animals.
Is it easy to do reintroductions? Is there project failures?
Wildlife reintroductions are also very challenging projects. And actually learning is a very important component there. One thing is that many species disappeared already a long time ago, at least from human perspective. And therefore we need to learn again how to share the same space with these animals, how to live together, how to use the same resources, for example. And it's especially very important when we speak about carnivores like wolves or bears or wild cats that can seem to be dangerous, but there's actually a lot of science and techniques that prove that coexistence between humans and wildlife is possible. The second thing is also that the animals that we are trying to reintroduce, they have a big learning to do as well. Oftentimes they come from captivity because the founding population is very small. Therefore, these captive and very naive animals have to learn again how to live in wildlife, how to survive. And bringing these animals, sometimes even across the continents, is also very challenging. There are many health challenges. And at the same time, we are using biodiversity in such a speed that we cannot allow ourselves to wait until we have enough data before acting. And therefore, what we can do is to try and stop regularly and think what went wrong and what worked, and try to readapt, improve, and start again. And I'm sure that by learning and improving, we can succeed the wildlife reintroductions.
Natalia, what would you say to people that want to help biodiversity?
I think that for all people who'd like to help biodiversity, the very important factor is to actually believe that we can make a change and to keep this motivation no matter what happens. And especially when it comes to failure or mistakes, I think it's very important to keep the vision and the long-term goal of our actions, and also to share what we learn from the mistakes, what we learn from failures, and inspire one another, because it's normal to learn, to readapt, to improve our techniques, our projects. But if we believe in it, I'm pretty sure that we can make a change.